Hello and welcome to the sideboard here at Star City Games Nashville. I am joined by Eric Salas. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing fine.
You have brought an interesting little mix-up to the table. This is is it 5 colors or it looks like 4 color Cascade? Oh no, it's 5 color Cascade. Sort of a rug Cascade shell, but you've also got the Punishing Fire in there. You've got a little bit of the bug Ancestral Vision action going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you've also managed to fit things like Tide Hollow Sculler into the deck. So tell me a little bit about where the idea for this deck came from.
I saw the list that Adam Turk ran in Atlanta, I believe it was in February. And I was like, I see Esper Stoneblade, see all these decks, and this was kind of a rogue deck to me. And he was running 4 Ponder in the Tide, where I have the Tide Hollow.
Sure.
And I'm like, that's an awful lot of card draw because you got the Brainstorms, you had 4 Ancestral Visions. I'm like,
plus you've already got the card advantage of Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid Elf.
Exactly.
I think that a lot of players just want to shoehorn as many 2-for-1s into the deck as they possibly can, but being able to interact with a combo opponent certainly seems like it's nice. This type of deck typically doesn't have a lot of game against decks like Show and Tell, whereas this one can, certainly, with these Tide Hollow Scullers in the main deck. You also have a Scavenging Ooze, a card that's sort of fallen out of favor a little bit recently because of Deathrite Shaman. It sort of acts like another Deathrite Shaman in your deck against the graveyard-based decks.
Yep.
And it's, of course, it's going to be an M14, which is pretty exciting. So
and I didn't know that until the other day.
Yeah, there you go. So we have 3 Abrupt Decays and 1 Maelstrom Pulse in your deck.
Yep.
Talk to me why you have the split like that.
4 Abrupt Decays, like I would Cascade in it too many times and not have a target.
Sure.
And I figured, okay, against goblins, against anything that puts out a whole bunch of little small guys, it's like Maelstrom Pulse seems like the one to go with. And granted, it's not a Vindicate, which I have it in the sideboard.
Sure.
But
yeah, being able to take out multiple ringleaders or even just being able to target a Jace is very nice to be able to have the one of. You also have the Punishing Fire combo in here, Punishing Fire and Grove of the Burn Willows. It sort of seems like it might be hard to cast at times, or get going at least.
More than most times, I'm just stuck with Grove. I'll see maybe 1 or 2 Punishing Fire, maybe, and not have the Grove.
Sure.
But when I get it out there, it's like this is just my instant removal against all the smaller.
Sure, it just shuts down all the fair decks, absolutely. And you have the full 8 Cascade cards, which are pretty much always 2-for-1s.
Yep.
And every once in a while, it will become more than a 2-for-1 if you flip up something like a Jite, which you have one of Umezawa's Jite in the main deck, and all of the other card advantage, including Ancestral Vision. Now, Ancestral Vision is a card that's very good in a fair metagame. Is that what you've been seeing mostly today?
Second round, I went up against Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and just it wrecked me.
Sure.
Now, like against Jund and stuff, it's like automatically it's like Ancestral Visions.
Right.
It's like best thing in the world.
This deck seems like it's awesome against Jund with. Jund is just trying to 2-for-1 you as well. This deck just has so many more 2-for-1s.
Yep.
We talked earlier about Vindicate in your sideboard. You do have a 1 of Vindicate in the sideboard, but you also have some other interesting choices in your sideboard. Let's talk about Engineered Plague first. You have 3 of Engineered Plague. What specifically were you looking for?
Anything like elves, goblins against Esper Stoneblade is amazing.
Naming Spirit?
No.
Sure. Oh, no.
You name Wizard. It takes out the Delver, it takes out Mendelian Click. Second one hits, you can name Spirit. I mean, it'll hit a Geist, and it'll hit their Lingerings.
Nice.
So.
And you've also got 3 Mindbreak traps in the sideboard. Typically, the decks that run Mindbreak Trap can't actually cast it. It's nice to be able to have a counterspell pretty much out of nowhere.
Yep.
Sorry?
I mean, it's... I hadn't seen it that much. When I needed it, it wasn't there. So I'm thinking about taking it out completely, but...
Sure. And you also have a lot of other disruption in the form of Thoughtseize and Surgical Extraction for those combo decks. So this deck... basically, the goal is to out 2-for-1 your opponent as much as you possibly can. Your sideboard card helps to get there. What changes would you make? Obviously, with the mana available in Legacy, you can do pretty much whatever you want in a deck like this. What would you do if you were to change it going forward?
I would actually take out the Creeping Tar Pit. It's not helped me that much, and even when I see it, it's like I'm never activating it. I'd probably put in another dual land, maybe a scrub land. Other than that, I mean, it seems pretty good. Sideboard options, I might switch up like mind break traps with something, but I mean when I need them, they're there.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. So
Yeah, in a deck like this, if it costs 3 or less mana, it's on your list of available options. So you can play things like, if you don't like Vindicate, you can play something like Temporal Spring, or you can play an anti-dredge sideboard card in addition to the Grafdigger's Cage that you have already. Just the options are plentiful and numerous, and I'm always happy to see Birds of Paradise in a Legacy deck. Birds of Paradise is a card that when I first learned Magic, one of the first major events I went to, I got my birds signed by Mark Poole, and I still own those. It's like 14 years later, and so I just always love Birds of Paradise decks. But this looks like a ton of fun, and I might take it. I might take something similar. The numbers are obviously always malleable, so I might switch it around. But cascading into an Ancestral Vision is pretty much awesome.
yeah, oh yeah.
So thank you so much, and good luck.
Right.
And we'll be back at the sideboard later on here at Star City Games Nashville.